Hi guys, in this video I am going to talk about how to create UI programmatically. This topic has been there for quite a lot, like it's up to developers' choice whether to use storyboard or whether to use a programmatical approach. In the beginning, many people had the practice of using a programmatical approach to create UI. Then after Apple introduced storyboards, it has been very easy to use or very easy to create UI with less lines of code. That being said, there can be some scenarios where in which you need to create UI programmatically when you have some complex UI, something like that. Apple has introduced layout anchors, auto layout, which helps a lot to do this. In this video I'm going to walk you through an application which I have created where I have not used any storyboards. It's pure programmatical approach. I have created a table view with a custom cell with two labels customly placed, and I'm handling the navigation to a next screen. In that screen I have created a login page with two text fields and a button, all programmatically through code. One way, if you see that it's a bit easier, like to reuse layouts, you can just copy paste things, or you can reuse the code very easily when you do this programmatical approach. It's my first attempt and it's pretty nice. So let me walk you through the code. Okay, step 1. Once you create an application, let's say a single view application, after the application has been created, you should need to go to the general tab and go to main interface. You should be having the main storyboard name here. Clear it out. After that, you can delete the main storyboard, which I have already done. That's the step 1. Then you need to go to app delegate. In the did finish launching options, you need to write few lines of code, and these are those few lines of code. And people who have done iOS programming like few years back, they cannot forget these lines. So like, you are going to create a UI window and make key and visible. After creating the window, you can either choose for a navigation controller. Here I have chosen a navigation controller, and create a view controller programmatically and assign the view controller as the root view controller to the window. So this will initialize the view controller and load the view into the navigation controller and eventually as the root view controller of the window. Now let's go to the view controller. What is there in the view controller? Going into the view controller, let me introduce you guys to another class called view factory. Since we spoke that in this app all the UI is going to be created programmatically, I created a factory class which has few methods, like one is creating a text field, creating a button, creating a view, and creating a UI label. And all this will take few parameters like font, text color, alignment, the general properties of a text field. I have set those things as default. On creating the text field, you can modify. So this way it makes bit easier for you to create a UI controller pretty fast. Similarly, a button, like the button background color, tint color, corner radius, and then title, label, font, text color, etc. So these things can be modified later. I have provided default values, so you can just go ahead and use the default value, or you can pass your own values. Then create a view and then create a label. So with this view factory class, you can easily create all your UI controls and then modify or use it in your view controller. Okay, now let's go to the view controller. So in this view controller, I am setting up a table view. So first of all, you need to define a variable for the table view. I just call it as data table view. Then you have this function called setup table view, where I'm creating a table view, setting its delegates, and then this line is very important for to make auto layout seamlessly work. So I'm going to turn the auto resize mask to off. Then you need to add the table view to the sub view. This step is also important. Like before you apply your constraint, you should add the view into the add the table view into the view, otherwise it's going to crash. Now let's see how we are going to place the table view using the layout anchors. So first step is like I need to position it on all the sides. So like top anchor of the table view should be equal to the safe layout area guide top. So you are telling that the top of the table view should be aligned, I mean should connect to the top top layout for the safe area layout guide, top anchor of the safe area layout guide. So you are setting it true. Similarly left so left anchor of the table view should be equal to, I mean connected to the left anchor of the view. Right, it's like trailing and leading edges. Then the bottom to the safe area layout guide bottom anchor. So once the iPhone 10 came in, the safe area layout guide came into picture. Other before that it was like top layout guide and bottom layout guide. So that's it. So this will place your table view properly in the view. It's a which will cover the whole view. The next step is you need to register your custom table view cell. So this is the custom table view cell class which I have used. So you can register the class, then you can set the row height as automatic dimension and the estimated row height. So that's it on the table view setup. Now let's go and see how the custom table view cell look like. Here also I have a title label and subtitle label, and I have to override the init method. So here I am setting up the cell table title label and subtitle label. I am creating using the view factory method. Then here also you have a method called setup views. So first I will be adding the title label and subtitle label to the cell's content view. Then I am getting the margin guide from the content view layout margin guide. Then as we did for table view, we are going to set the constraints for the title label and subtitle label. So here title label top anchor matching the margin guide top anchor, left to margin guide left anchor, right, and I am giving a padding of 20, and the right I'm giving a padding of -20. You have to put a reverse, like if you put 20 it will go past the margin, so you have to put minus. Then subtitle label should align to the bottom of title label so that the spacing is maintained. So I have put a spacing of 5. Then similar to title label, you have subtitle label left, right, and the bottom connected to the respective margins left, right, and bottom anchor. That's it. Now you have the both the cells placed properly in the content view of the table view cell. So now you have the table view as well as the custom cell created programmatically. Now coming back to the view controller, you have the same old stuff. The table view delegates, I'm just giving 5 rows, and in the cell for row at index path you can just dequeue the cell that you have registered, and you can get it as the custom table view cell, and you can set the title label and subtitle label, and that's it. Now let's try to run and see. Yeah, so you can see that it has popped up properly, and even the self sizing is also working fine. There is one point you need to note when it comes to self sizing table view cells. In the custom table view cell, you should use the layout margin guide. Like if you are using the content views top anchor, uh, content views anchors, I find that the self sizing table concept, I mean self sizing, is not really working. So you have to use the layout margin guide to make it work. I'm not sure why it's not working. Do a navigation. So for this I'm following a concept called navigator. So I just took it from a blog swift.com. So this is a navigator protocol. It will have a destination and a function navigate to the destination, that's all. Now you're going to create a simple navigator. In the simple navigator, I just define an enum destination with a value second, just to denote it's a second view controller. Then I have a navigation controller created, then an initialization method, like whoever initializes this navigator will pass on the navigation controller. Then we are going to implement the navigate method. Then you will have a factory method to create a view controller. The make view controller, based on the choice or selection that you make, it will create the view controller. Let's say you have a case third view controller, so you will be adding a case dot third, and you will be returning a third view controller. So it's very convenient to use it that way. So when the user now let's go to the view controller. So you will have a single line over here, like when a user selects any cell, you are just asking it to go to the next view controller. So that's what it does. Let's see it in action. You can see we have reached the next page. Again, you could see this is like I have created it like a login page. You can see two text fields and a login button here. Let's see how it is being designed. Let's go to the second view controller. In the second view controller also we have a similar method called SetupView. So here I'm creating a username field, password field, login button using the view factories methods, and creating a content view. On the content view, I am adding the user name field, password, and login button. At this point of time, the layout will not be properly arranged. You have not placed any constraints. Now let's add the content view into the view. Now let's place the content view which holds the whole text fields and the button. Again, so content view, you are going to have the leading and trailing edges connected to the parent view, left anchor, right anchor. Then height, so I'm just setting the height of the content view to be half the size of the parent view. Then I'm aligning it in the Y. After that, I'm aligning the username field and password field within the content view. So it will be aligned with respect to the content view, top, left, right, height, and password fields top will be aligned to the username fields bottom. Password field also will have top, left, right, and the height anchor. Then below that you will have the login button. So login button top will be aligned to the connected to the passwords fields bottom anchor. Then login button also has left, right, and height. So this will be setting, this is enough to set up the UI that you have seen. So looking at this, it's pretty like if you do it in a ordered way, it's very convenient. Let's say if I want to since I have created this factory method, I can easily create text fields or buttons or labels anywhere I want. After doing these things, I started liking this approach. Might be good. And there is another pretty nice library called Pure Layout, uh, which which is helpful in supporting the OS versions below iOS 9. So you can try it out. I haven't tried it out, but it has got decent rating, so you can try this out also. That's one third-party framework which I saw, which helps you in designing layout programmatically. That's all from my end. Please do try it out. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.